into a galucha pit full of water. When the bus completely submerged, it became a living nightmare for those students on board as they scrambled to get out. This all happening while parents and school staff watched helplessly as first responders tried to rescue everyone. During this special report, we will be taking an in-depth look at this tragedy. We'll hear from some survivors and those who were the first on the scene. We'll also look over the litigation that followed this crash and how school bus safety has changed because of this. Now, here in the very spot I'm standing in, a memorial now remains to remember the 21 young lives that were lost. The Galucha pit's located right behind this, and it's now surrounded by fencing and guardrails. And while it's been 35 years for the entire Alton community and those who survived that bus accident, it seems just like yesterday.
Buenos dias, Cynthia. Buenos dias, Alex. Buenos dias, Virginia.
It was a Thursday. So it was towards the end of the school week, and everybody's looking forward to, the weekend and looking forward to Football Friday. And so it just was very busy.
Good morning, Roman. Buenos dias.
Kids loud, everybody yelling, screaming, tirando papeles at each other, airplanes, that kind of stuff.
Pauline, buenos dias. Buenos dias, Carlos. Good morning.
I had kind of my shoulders to the window, but, we talk and I'd look this way out the window and, just chit chat, look out the window, and my best friend was sitting in front of me.
At the end of the route, once we picked up the last set of kids, immediately after that is when the accident happened.
All of a sudden you feel these, like a skid. What the hell? I freaked out, hey, kill him, hey, what's happening? Well, he's braking because he's noticing the Dr. Pepper truck.
It just seemed like it was coming really fast. And I actually said it, to myself. Well, I actually said it out loud. I said, that truck's not going to stop.
I don't remember whether I heard something or not, but I realized that we were not facing the right direction.
He passed us, hits us, boom! The fishtails hits the bus like this, and we're going straight like this on Conway. It was directions straight like the Dukes of Hazzard. And it's like a galucha pit, but there's no guardrails, no fence. You're in the water, you're gonna go down. We didn't know that there was water.
You saw the sky, you saw the wall of the pit, and then you saw the water, and then you just saw nothing.
I realized that I was underwater, and it was really dark, it was murky, and it seemed like the seats were floating, the bus seats were floating in the water.
So everybody's scrambling to get up to the other windows, and those windows have latches, and if you don't snap it and hold it, it's gonna lock on you, So we're doing all that. I grab it, so that was him. I grab my sister. I'm like, guarda, we took it out with a nickname. Guarda, move. So I grab her, right, boom. I pull her up, right? She gets it. By the time she's up like that, the water's already coming up towards me.
And I just heard somebody calling me, Gorda, and I sounded like in a distance, like far, far away. And I was like, I'm dead. I'm and I felt like I opened my eyes. I don't know if I opened my eyes, but I felt like I did, and it was just white. And then I saw a hand extend out to me, and I thought, I'm going with God.
I just thought I wasn't going to make it anymore. And I started to pray. And then I also started to try to breathe air from my hands. I did that twice, and I drank a lot of water. I took in a lot of water. So eventually I didn't think I was going to make it. So like I said my prayers. I thanked God for the life that I'd had, and I surrendered at that moment. And almost instantaneously, my neighbor pulled me out by pulling me from my hair through the window.
So I grabbed myself and I pulled myself out, and then I grabbed what was coming up next, right? Boom, we pull him, and then we're running, trying to open the window. You see faces on the windows, like trying to get out. So we're holding our hands like this to go, or move this way, get on this one. You're not counting how many people you're taking out. You're trying to get everybody as fast as you can, because you see them coming out, breathing, throwing up, falling. You see them there, and then they disappear. That's the one that got me.
You know, you could hear sirens and everything. You could see people throwing down hoses, water hoses, and, you know, stuff like that. And just people crying, yelling.
At some point, I got tired and just decided that I wasn't going to wait for them to come for me. And even though I didn't know how to swim, I thought that I could make it from the bus to the edge of the pit where the wall meets the pit. And I just threw myself in the water and I swam over there and made my way to the edge.
The families are coming. You hear the mothers, they're crying. You know, it's chaos. And you can't. I mean, you don't wake up thinking, I'm going to save people today. I'm going to be in an accident today. There's something that you don't expect. You know, I mean, nobody ever expects to wake up and to be in an accident and to hear from them.
I honestly never thought in my wildest dreams that anybody was going to die. Then why am I here? I just thought, no, that's not true. That's not true.
Hello, everyone. What started out as a normal school day ended in death for 19 children. A school bus loaded with teenagers plunged into a caliche pit filled with water. Passers-by jumped into the murky water to try and save those helpless students. This is the worst school bus accident in Texas history. The big question, of course, is what exactly happened at 7:40 this morning when the bus fell into that caliche pit.
81 students were on board Mission CISD's bus number 6. At 7:34 a.m., Bus 6 was traveling west off a 5-mile line after picking up the last of its students. At the same time, a Dr. Pepper truck owned by the Valley Coca-Cola Bottling Company was being driven by Ruben Perez. Perez had just completed his first delivery at a Circle K near that intersection and was traveling north on Bryan Road. As both vehicles approached the intersection, the Dr. Pepper truck hit the school bus after not slowing down for the stop sign. The truck hit the left side of the bus, which caused it to veer off the road and plunge 24 feet into the caliche pit. The bus lied on its side in 10 feet of water, trapping the students inside. By 7:40, the first officer from Alton Police arrived on the scene and was soon joined by other police officers. The Alton Fire Department, the Lago County Sheriff's Office, and numerous other agencies from across the valley joined to help rescue the students who were trapped inside. Some students managed to get out of the bus on their own and try to free others. 19 students died on the scene. 2 others died 8 days later, bringing the total death count to 21. For the students who managed to survive the horrible ordeal, it left them forever traumatized.
When I was doing my homework, I started crying. Everything that I'm doing, I was saying to the clouds and say, why God? Someday we'll just forget what happened.
But no matter how hard everyone wanted to forget that day, that never happened, especially for those who were the first ones on the scene. We spoke to some first responders on what they saw that day.
I just remember scanning the whole area and thinking, this is not happening. This is not true.
Sadly, it happened there.
That morning, walking out the door, getting ready to go to shift that day.
That morning, it's a regular day, Thursday, and walking through the gym.
It started off early. I was actually off duty.
Could hear the phone ringing in my office over and over.
I heard the radio broadcast of a school bus accident.
Officer 14. Go ahead. You take a proceed to Main Street and Bryan Road for a motor vehicle accident involving a bus possibly occupied by a juvenile.
My unit that had responded to that call had requested that I go assist them. So I knew it was something big.
My ears popped open and my eyes opened up.
I got to the office and picked up the phone, and someone just yelled from there that they needed all the coaches that were certified in CPR to get to the 5-mile line in Bryan Road, that there had been a bus accident.
I go directly in my personal vehicle to the scene, and what do we see is that Dr. Pepper truck on the side of the road, and then the bus plummeted into the caliche pit.
You know, and looked down, and I just froze when I saw the bus.
Laying on its side, probably in about 6 to 8 feet of water.
You could see the yellow or the color. I could see mission, CISD on it, the side.
Just see the upper skin of the bus, or the side of the skin of the bus, was horrific. They were going through the windows of the bus and extracting them through those windows, and either having them sitting or standing on the side of the bus.
We also were separating the more severe or seriously injured from those that were not.
There was a little air launch area up on the west side of that caliche pit that we were able to put some boats in there and retrieve some of the students.
They had already pulled out a couple of bodies because I saw 2 that were covered, and a priest was with them.
Mothers were crying. There was a lot of yelling. Tensions were high.
I remember the chaos of that day. I remember the loss of that day. And that is something I'll never forget.
And one of my students come up to me and said, "Coach, my little sister, we can't find her. She's not on the list. That she's not on the list, that she went to the hospital. I've got to go down there. My mom needs to know. We need to know." Saw him come back up, and I knew he found his sister. It was a Thursday, so Friday night football, that was all postponed. But yeah, we're at the McAllen Stadium, and Cito Ochoa, who was our announcer, they allowed him to have a moment, to recognize these kids. He did, and each one of the football booster club members was holding a balloon about the size of a beach ball. They're huge balloons, and they were white. As they called the name, they released the balloon. It's just pretty amazing because they didn't fly off. They kind of just hovered around, and they went through all 21 names, and they kind of hovered around and got to the middle, over the 50-yard line within the stadium, and then they all just, went off together.
I don't think the community of Alton ever wanted to be known for a bus accident. Sadly, it happened there.
Some of those students on all that school bus made something of themselves. And I think that is important, that they didn't allow that to impact them. They looked forward instead of looking back. And I think it was good for the community.
For those that did not survive, they are in our hearts, and there's plenty of people that remember them.
This did happen. It happened to our kids at Mission High School, and the whole community, not only the city of Mission, but the whole Rio Grande Valley.
Coming up after the crash came the lawsuits, and the man who drove the Dr. Pepper truck now facing 21 counts of negligent homicide. What the jury decided his fate after hearing his arguments, that's after the break.
1, 2, 3.
Let's get back to business. This is your step 2. What to, what not to, how to get bigger, better. Team Snoop, quit playing, man. You are flavorful.
The Voice, new Monday on NBC and Peacock. I like to know what my patients are experiencing, to feel how they're feeling. I choose to work with them, find a path forward when nobody else will.